Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. Happy Monday, Pod Squad. Do I call y'all Pod Squad every week? I really don't know if I do or not. And if I don't, I need to get it together. And I'm also thinking about changing the name. Unless you guys just love Pod Squad, then you guys can be Pod Squad. But I just feel like it's generic. I need to put some more thought into it. And eventually something is going to come up where it's like, oh yeah, that just makes 1,000 times more sense than just Pod Squad, because anybody can come up with that. But how are you all doing? It is the last Monday, the last week of April. So you already know what this episode is going to be about. All of the things that we have accomplished in the month of April. I cannot wait to show and tell you all what I've accomplished. And hopefully you have some things of your own that you've accomplished. And if you would like to share it, please feel free to do so. My Instagram is prettyconfident.pod. And then on all other platforms, I am the Pretty Confident Podcast. So Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want, drop it down, tell and share what you've accomplished in April, what you're proud to, say that you've accomplished. And I want you to think about what you want to accomplish in May. All right. We are not only going to just stop where we are. We need to keep trucking. And the best way to do that is to focus on what we've accomplished and how that's going to motivate us to spring even forward or, motivate our future thoughts and things that we want to accomplish in the future. So we need to stay on the wave of accomplishing things. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be small things that build up momentum to equal something big. That is perfectly fine. But I want you to have in mind, I want you to be intentional with accomplishing things every month, whether it's one thing a week, whether it's one thing a month, whether it's one thing a day. I want you to build the habit of a winner's mentality, and I want you to build unshakable confidence. Nobody can waver your confidence if you know what you've accomplished, where you were versus where you are now, and what you did to get there. And that is the biggest thing that I myself need to remember, because when I went into this past interview, I was so tripped up at first. But then when I realized, Sierra, you are you. Nobody else is you, and nobody else can tell your story the way you tell it. Nobody knows everything that you've accomplished, and these people don't even know half of what you've accomplished. So tell your story. Tell your story. Have that unshakable confidence. So my confidence did waver, but once I knew and realized and remembered who I was and the fact that these people don't know me, they are trying to get to know a snippet of me through this interview, that's when I kind of loosened up and I was like, okay, let's breathe and let's answer these questions like it's nobody's business and tear these people out of the water. And with that, I am going to go ahead and say the announcement that I have been waiting to give you all. I was accepted, or I was offered the job, and I have officially accepted it. So applause, virtual applause everywhere. I am so excited. I don't even know, nervous to see what next is in store for me. And it's so crazy. You can be so ready for the next thing to happen, but then not ready for it to happen, right? Because we get in these comfort zones because we know what we're doing. We know the day to day. We know what to expect. And then when something new comes along, it's like, whoa now. Let's run this back. Let's revise this. Let's, rethink this. But I'm not here to stay in a comfort zone. I'm here to thrive in my growth zones, places and things that I'm not comfortable with or in, and figure out how to thrive from there to only build on my resume, build on that confidence, and go and tackle the next step right after. So I am super happy and excited for myself. I hope you guys are happy for me as well. And if there's any cold-blooded souls out there that's like, oh my gosh, why did just I don't know. There's some people out there that can be mad at your success. Doesn't that sound crazy? You're mad because I'm becoming successful. You're mad because I'm out here accomplishing things. If you know anybody in your life that is mad at you because you are accomplishing things, out there being a go-getter, we need to reestablish those relationships, okay? Because that is somebody that is a monitoring spirit, and they are only around you to be in the loop of what you got going on in your life. And we do not need any monitoring spirits. Yes, you can see what I do from a distance, but I'm not going to continue letting you in my home. I'm not going to continue feeding you information that you are not happy for me for. Like, it's just crazy because you never know who is praying on your downfall. Yes, people can pray to uplift you, but there are other people that are praying for your miserability. And I don't want anybody to be around people that is praying on them to fail, to be miserable, to, stay on these low tracks of life and just ride those tracks. Like, no, we need people and friends and family and supportive, whoever in our life that is going to build us up and remind us of who we are when we forget. Okay. So those people that are mad at you or not congratulating you or not, celebrating you when you accomplish these wins, whether big or small, it's time to reevaluate those relationships. Okay. But yes, your girl was offered and has accepted a new job position. So come June, my life will be looking a little bit different. And I'm kind of nervous. Like I said, it's super crazy when you want something, so much. And then when you finally get it, it's like, oh snap. Okay. It's here. It's time. So I'm super excited. I'm super, proud of myself. And sometimes I feel like, an imposter when, I'm great at my job. I'm great at every aspect of what I do. But it's like, oh dang, am I actually going to be good in this new role? What does this new role really entail? What does the day-to-day life look like? Right? And so I don't want to feel like an imposter, but you kind of do, because it's like, yeah, I did great in all these other roles, but am I going to do great here? And the expectations are always high because my name carries a lot of weight just based on what I've done in past roles. So I don't know. We're going to see, and y'all are going to hear about all the things because I am open and honest with you guys forever and always, because you guys helped me get through most of the tough times that I've been through, especially this month. While we're talking about, things that we've accomplished in April, I've accomplished taking back my mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And I say that because in the last couple episodes, I did reveal that my boyfriend and I had to abruptly move because of a situation, an altercation that happened. And I am a planner. If it's not planned, it's not happening. I need to be able to be notified, plan things out, and see how things look, and not be hoodwinked and, thrown into the mix last minute, because that stresses me out. If I don't know what to expect, I'm going to be stressed out and I'm going to worry about it. And maybe that's something that I need to work on internally, being okay with the unexpected, or not even okay, but learning how to manage and navigate the unexpected spaces that are called life. Like, we can't plan every single day of our life. I know that. I am fully aware of that. I have no denial or any delusion regarding that statement. Okay. You cannot plan every single thing of your life. But if I can get a little bit more if I can be a little bit more better in those unplanned spaces, I feel like I'll be okay. So maybe that's something that I need to work on. Note it for next time. Note it for later. Okay. So when I say that I have taken back control over my mental, emotional, and physical well-being, I mean that literally. Because, like I said, we were thrown in this abrupt situation where we had to move. It was not planned, and everything broke loose. My mental, my emotional, and my physical well-being. So, mentally, because I'm stressed, I have to figure out something to do where we're going to up and move our life to within 3 days. Being able to get out of that. I don't want to say I was depressed, but I was very stressed out. I found myself shaking. I found myself not eating, and I did not realize it. I wasn't getting hunger cues. My mental state was just all over the place because I was like scatterbrained. And Yeah, I had to reel that back in. And I would say if there is anything wrong, start with your mental first. I had to start looking at the silver lining, the good of what came out of the situation. And if there are more bads than goods, focus on the goods. Focus on the goods. There are always going to be bad things in any situation, in any scenario, but if we can focus on the good things that are coming out of it, we are more prone to change our mentality and change our outlook on the situation. And so that is what I had to do. I am loving my life right now. The outcome of everything, I'm loving it. I'm astonished. I'm amazed with how I did because I did try to keep it under control. And then that just leads me into my next state of my emotional well being, taking control over that. During that whole entire process, again, I gave a whole, rundown of whatever happened in, I want to say episode 63, Survival Instincts. That's what I believe the episode is called. But taking back my emotional well being, I am a strong, independent woman, hard headed, and stubborn. Okay. But it takes a lot for me to break down because I'm always thinking, I'm always analyzing situations, I'm always trying to rationalize events and things that happen in my life internally. But this is something that affected me mentally and something that happened externally. So I had to take a moment, take a step back, and feel the emotions. It is okay to suppress sometimes, but at the end of the day, those emotions need to come out. You need to show them to whoever you need to show them to. So in this situation, I needed to show my partner, my boyfriend, my emotions based on the situation that we were in because he didn't realize how much of a toll this whole entire scenario had on my emotional well-being. And it's because I suppressed it real bad, real good. um I say bad because, he couldn't even tell I was masking it, but good because it was suppressed so low that he couldn't realize what was going on internally. But I say I took back my emotional control because at the time, like, there was no time to cry, there was no time to feel, completely unhinged because I needed to make something work. And so got something together, and as soon as we settled in my apartment, I did start to break down. I did. And it's okay for it is very much well needed in a relationship for your partner to see the emotions that you are having, to maybe the consequences of you both or the consequences that the other person took that caused you yourself some discomfort or a life change. And moving is definitely a life change, especially when you're not expecting it. And so for him to, kind of have that growing up, that instability of a home growing up, he did not feel as affected as I did. And he did not know how affected I was until I showed him that emotion. And when I showed him that emotion, we talked, we had a conversation, we had an understanding. I understand him better. He understands me better. He knows not to let this happen again. Okay. Because if this keeps happening, it's a destructive cycle. And I don't need to be temporary change versus future misalignment. We talked about this before. If you're an OG, you know. Okay. And shout out to the OGs. I love y'all. If you're new in this corner of my internet and my world, hello, welcome. I'm glad to have you here, and hopefully you'll, stay. But no, honestly, like, it helped us understand each other more, and what we expect out of each other going forward after the situation. We are both taking what happened and learning from it. And now emotionally, I feel great. I feel fine. I trust him with my emotions. If you don't trust your partner with your emotions to the point where you can't tell them anything, you can't be honest with them, you can't show them, how their actions affected you, there's an issue. Reevaluate that situation, reevaluate that relationship, and decide, is that a temporary change that you are willing to allow this person to work through and hopefully do better at? Or is it a future misalignment and this person is diminishing who you are as a person, your feelings, and what you need out of a partner to feel fulfilled, safe, trusted, and respected? All right. And finally, physical. Like I said, I was not eating. I could not eat. I was not hungry. And I felt like I was going to throw up at every turn. I could not sleep. Like all of the things were wrong. And I feel like everything stemmed from my my mental state because I was so scatterbrained. I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to get everything together. That affected my physical well being as well as my emotional. And all of these I feel like go hand in hand at some point, but I feel like the mental is tied to everything because that is what is communicating with the rest of your body to tell you to feel this or to tell you to not do this or to eat. I was not getting those hunger cues and I've never had that before. So if you are stressed to the max, if you are depressed, I can only imagine how bad that is doing to your emotional and physical state. So please talk to somebody, whether it's a therapist, whether it's somebody off the, like whoever, please talk to somebody because it is definitely going to be full circle of altering your emotional and physical well-being as well. So I was able to overcome all of that. I definitely want to point that out because April was a hectic month for me, especially the first week. Like as of like April 1st, like the first week of April was so horrific, but I was able to conquer that. And I'm not going to say I was able to conquer that on my own. It was my boyfriend being there by my side as well. If he did not care about me not eating, he wouldn't have made me breakfast or send me money to make sure I went and got breakfast when he wasn't, when he wasn't here, but calling, checking in and see if I ate lunch, making sure I ate dinner, checking in on me. And that is what I respect about him. That's what I love about him. And that's what I hope to, that's what I hope my kids can see because a lot of the times kids aren't seeing that. So they don't know what to expect when they do try to go get in these relationships, right? So set the example, be the change and set the example. But let's go ahead and talk about the things that I have accomplished from January to March 1st. I've paid off one credit card. I've uploaded a lot more tutorials. So how to do things, just random things like, iPhone stuff, digital stuff, whatever, whatever the case may be, it's on TikTok. I've done a liquid diet for 2 weeks. I've paid off another credit card. I started 3 different YouTube channels. I started digital designing. I just finished up a project for my cousin's graduation party. I applied for a new role at work, and now that is a full circle moment and completed because I've officially been offered and accepted that new role. I've read more than 5 books, but I did have 5 books on here. I've saved $500. I've done a lot more makeup videos, and I just recorded some more makeup videos today. So that's going to be out coming soon on TikTok and YouTube. I've done a liquid diet for a week, and I've saved $1,000. So that is everything that I've accomplished from January 2025 to March 2025. And then the things that I will add that I've accomplished in April, let's not, take my mental, physical, and emotional well-being for granted. So I'm definitely going to say that was a big accomplishment because I've never been put in a situation like this. So that was definitely a big accomplishment. Because, anybody else that could have been their last, straw. And now they're down spiraling. Okay. But I want to make a note that I was able to stay strong and be vulnerable and show my partner that vulnerability. And all of those things got back on track for me. So that's definitely a plus in my book. But I definitely want to say if you are somebody that is through the thick of your storm or in the thick of the storm right now, it's not going to be like that always. I look at it as a monitor that you're hooked up to in a hospital. There are going to be high highs and there are going to be low lows. But that is how you know that you are living. If you are flatlined, if you are stagnant, it is a flat line and you are dead. So be grateful that you are having those those low lows because not only is it going to remind you that it has to go up from here. I mean, where else can it go? Only up, right? But it makes you appreciate the high highs even more. Those low lows keep you grounded to the point where you don't walk on water. Things happen to everybody. Okay. But it's how you get through it that matters. All right. So in the month of April, I have accomplished buying new bar stools as well as renovating my living room. The reason those two were on my bingo board was because I was determined on making my apartment a home. At first, I didn't really care. I was like, this is an apartment. I'm going to be here for a little bit. My boyfriend and I are going to start looking at houses when we get married. So, what's the point of, making my apartment a home? It's very important. This is where you go to relax. This is where you go at the end of every single day to lay your head down and go to sleep and wake up. And this is the first place you see. I want to enjoy and love my space. So let me do that. So I decided I wasn't going to get rid of my sectional anymore. The sectional is fine, perfect condition. Just going to keep it. And then I got a new rug. I got rid of my coffee table, but I was like, if I don't replace my coffee table with something cuter, what am I going to do in lieu of that so that I can optimize the space? Right. And so I got rid of the coffee table and I have some like portable tables that you can take wherever, prop up and, eat on since there's no coffee table anymore. I bought new bar stools. That was a big, big, big thing because I had some bar stools before. They were not comfortable, never sat in them. These bar stools are very comfortable, very cute, very elegant, and very aesthetically pleasing. So every time I walk into my apartment now, this is the first thing that I see, and I am in love. Yes, there are still like paintings and whatnot I need to put up around the apartment, but in due time. We are in the first month that we are within 1 month of us moving into this new apartment. Things take time, and I want to say you do not have to do everything all at once. Doing everything all at once is going to stress you the heck out. So break things down into small and manageable steps. Bought bar stools, bought a rug, bought portable tables, got rid of the coffee table. That's one step. Then I replaced the headboard. Okay, that's another step. I replaced the comforters. That's another step. Okay, you don't have to do everything at once because if you try to do everything at once, you're either going to deplete your money or you're going to deplete your energy. Okay, so those are the things that I've accomplished. Like I said, April was very hectic for me, so I'm not saying that I didn't accomplish a lot because what I've overcame was a lot. And so all that leaves is just me to accomplish and focus on more, go harder for what I want my life to look like going forward, which is getting a house and being a homeowner. So we're just going to keep on pushing for that. Uh, but yeah, so in May, I know I have a cruise coming up in May and I have a new job coming up in like the very first day of June. So there's not much that I want to commit myself to rather than at least reading one book in May and paying off my third credit card. When I say I'm paying off these credit cards, I mean the month to month balance that has been going on for too long, longer than I can remember, paying that off and keeping those cards at low and manageable amounts to pay off every month or every 2 months max. So paying half of it within 30 days and then paying the other half within 60 days. So that is a manageable amount or reasonable, plan for myself. And that is what I'm going to stick to. So I do want to pay off my third credit card and I do want to read one book. Although reading another book is not on my bingo board, that is what I feel I need to do to get back to my full self because I have not read a book since the last book I've read or listened to on audiobook. I don't know. And that was sometime in March. But with all the craziness, things have changed. And yeah. So let me see here. That is what I'm going to say for May. I know I'm getting proposed to next month, so stay tuned for that news. I don't know what day, but I know it's sometime in May. So yeah, but I'm super excited with where I am. I've hit the lowest of lows at the beginning of April, and not only did I get through that, understanding who I am even more, but I've come out with a new perspective on life, right? Like, I realized that Sierra gets stressed when she is not in a capacity of planning things ahead before they happen. That is something that I need to work on because you cannot plan everything for every day of your life. It's just impossible. You can't. Right. And so I need to learn how to have that level headed mindset sometimes when it comes to unplanned things, because sometimes the best things in life are unplanned. Right. And so when you focus so much on having control over every aspect of whatever is going on, you are going to miss out on opportunities, and you are going to miss out on things that you cannot plan otherwise. Right. So I definitely need to take note of that, and work on that in small capacities. Maybe like have some spontaneity. I want to say that's right. Like spontaneous, interactions or spontaneous events that just pop out. You just go up and go do something one day without it being planned. I don't know. We'll see how I try to combat that. But yeah, I do not thrive in situations like that. So I definitely want to take a little time to develop that characteristic and that skill set. Because even at work, I don't know what people above me are going to plan. I don't know what people over the company in general are planning. So whenever they change things, I need to be willing and capable of hearing it, comprehending, and moving accordingly, instead of being like, oh, well, I didn't plan for this. So now I'm stressed the heck out. And now I'm taking a shot at my mental and emotional well being once again. Right. So that's just something that I need to focus on. And that's what our low lows are meant to teach us, things that we do not succeed in or thrive in, and what we can focus on to do better in those fields. I'm not saying that you have to be a mastermind at whatever your shortcomings are. That's not possible. I just want you to acknowledge what stressed you out to the point where this was a low, and figuring out, how can I combat whatever's going on in this situation, right? And how can I take these lessons and apply them elsewhere in life? And how does this make me progress as a person? Every day we should want to become a better person than we were the day before. And I can honestly tell you, before the month of April, I would not have been able to tell you I'm not good when it comes to situations where I can't plan stuff, where I can't be in control or know every little thing that's about to go on. I probably wouldn't have been able to tell you that. I would have probably been able to tell you I like to plan stuff, but the alternative of that is I don't succeed well in areas and environments where I am unable to plan anything, right? So that's what this low has taught me. That's what this difficult month has taught me. And I also want to say that I might change up a few things on my bingo board, because a lot of these may take a little while to accomplish. But that's okay. I told you all before, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change things based on who you are in the moment, instead of, okay, well, I told myself I was going to do this 3 years ago, and I still have to do it because that's what I told myself. No, if you have changed, you have changed. Change those goals, change those visions, change those prayer boards as well. Like, what good is it going to do just sitting there knowing that you don't want to accomplish it, knowing that that's not who you are anymore? Right? I created this 2025 bingo board December 28th of 2024. My new goal is to pay off some of my student loans, because y'all, I did all this work to pay off my credit cards and got my credit score all the way up to like a 745, just for whatever the heck they're doing in Washington, wherever they are, whatever they're doing caused my delinquent student loans, to hit my credit report, and it dropped by like 190 something points. So all that work I did to restore my credit, it just got depleted again because of student loans. So now a goal of mine is to pay down my student loans. As of today, I've paid $350 towards my student loans. It's annoying, but it's happening. This does make me question if I want to go back to school for my master's, because I think my company will pay for me to go back to school, but I don't know how that works. I don't know if they pay the whole thing. I don't know if they pay a portion and I'm responsible for the other, portion. But as of right now, I just have too much going on in my life with work, getting acclimated in this new place that we're in, about to get proposed to and be engaged in May, starting my new position June 1st. I don't know how that day to day is going to look after that. So there's just a lot going on right now where I feel like adding school and even more debt potentially is just doing too much. And then in this new role, I do have to go through a certification course that clears me to even do the job. So it's just a lot going on. So that's definitely something that I'll probably put on the back burner for now. That's just something that, is a potential for me. Not only looking at things that I want to accomplish, but what are things that are potential goals. What could I look into that, may be good for me? I definitely want to do more research on social media management and digital marketing, because those are some things and some fields that I find myself being kind of drawn to and finding excitement in. And I think that's the goal in life, is to find what you love to do and try to make money off of that. Honestly, I mean, if it's more peace not to make money off of it, fine, but do it as a hobby so that you have an outlet, to kind of like plug yourself into when things are getting hard, but it also replenishes and charges you back up to get out there and keep going. Um, but I mean, my granddad says, and I've said this before, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. So why not make money off of the things that we enjoy doing? At that point, I would think it's passive income. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of potential, right? But if you're only stuck in the now, if you're only stuck in the, oh well, why didn't this work? I don't know why this didn't work. I'm just gonna dwell on what didn't work instead of what could work. What's the possibility of something else working now that this just doesn't work? Then we get stuck and we get in this, I don't know, even mindset of, "Oh, this is the best that we can do, or this is all that we're going to be able to achieve in life," right? And that can be sucky. That could be annoying. And I never want to be stagnant and okay with the situation, or a life sentence to something that I don't enjoy doing. So I'm gonna find the silver lining. I'm gonna find something that I can do to try to thrive in the areas that I love to do as a hobby, because then I love social media. um I love doing like digital design. I want to start offering editing services. I love doing social media stuff, like putting stuff out there and engaging with communities. Like, I am almost at 1,000 followers on TikTok. And it is crazy to say because I never thought I'd even get that close. Like, I'm at 940 something followers right now. So it's crazy to see, but it's like, oh dang, like in the past, this is something that you wanted. This is something that you wished could be you. And now that it's about to be, it's like, oh wow, I did something right along the way. And that's just me being myself and posting things that I love doing, as well as posting my day to day life sometimes. My get ready with me to go to my office job, or my weekend routine, or my nighttime routine, right? And my hair routine, washing my hair, trying new hair products. Like, anything can be content if you want it to be. But when you don't want to take the steps, when you find it more of a burden and more of a task rather than something that you enjoy doing, and something that you can put your artistic or creative twist on, then it's going to be working. You're not going to want to do it. So it's always about changing your um outlook and how you look at things, right? So yeah, I mean, I just want to be happy. That's all I'm basically saying. I want to be happy, and I want to do something that I love doing, whether that's work and something on the side. Perfectly fine. I'm not saying that I just have to, I have to be an entrepreneur, I have to be a business owner in order to be happy. No, if I'm working to make money because I know that it's a stable income and it's a guaranteed income, then that's perfectly fine. I'll do whatever I love doing on the side and make it a side hobby, because not always is not you're not always going to bring in money every single month, and your money may be different. You may have a very high month and a very bottom, a very low month. So I mean, maybe what's for me is, corporate America as well as, entrepreneurship. Who knows? I don't. I'm just coming up with the steps as I go. So, like I said, you can't plan everything. Some things come out of the woodwork sometimes, and it could be for the good, it could be for the bad, but looking for the good in the bad is what's going to help your mentality look at things a little bit differently. So yeah, that's all I had to talk about today, you all. Like I said, I want to know what you all have accomplished in April. Could be small, could be big, right? It's whatever you think classifies as an achievement in your book. Okay, so definitely let me know. Drop it anywhere. Like I said, my Instagram is Theprettyconfident.pod. My YouTube, everywhere else is The Pretty Confident Podcast. I'm on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. But I just love speaking to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, the OGs, love y'all so much. Thank you for being here and continuing to come back. And then if this is your first episode listening, or you've been here for the last couple episodes, thank you so much for being here. So glad that you made it here to this point, and hopefully you can be an OG as well and a returning listener. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on all the socials. And keep being you. Keep reaching for that happiness. Keep trying to achieve. Keep striving for happiness, right? And at whatever road it takes you down to get there, allow it to take you down those roads. You may not know what those roads entail, but it is not up to you to understand or know every single part of the journey. It is your job to go through those roads or go on those journeys to understand what is it going to embody in you, and what is it going to mean down the road, right? So I just love this. I love this episode. I love the fact that we are having open and honest communication, or at least I'm able to openly have these conversations with you all, because, sometimes I don't know things until I get on the mic and I express how I'm feeling, and then something may come to me and I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of revolutionary for me. So that is why I encourage journaling. That's why I encourage just picking up your phone and maybe doing like a voice memo. Even if you don't want to do a podcast, doing a voice memo, because sometimes you just need to hear yourself out loud and be like, okay, girl, either I'm being stupid or this is a valid point and I need to bring it up to somebody, right? So that's all that I have for you all this week. I hope you all had an amazing April. I hope you all have an even more fantastic May. And I cannot wait to see what we accomplish in May. The most exciting thing for me is engagement. I've never been proposed to. I haven't seen the ring. I don't know what the planning looks like nothing. Okay. So I'm kind of nervous, but I'm so entirely extremely happy as well. But I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about embracing who you are. Until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.